get started. All right. Well, good evening, everyone. Welcome. For those of you that don't know me, I'm Sally. And it hopefully will be warming up soon. It looks like only like 2 more days. And so this evening, we're going to get started in seated. So you can sit however you want. You can sit cross-legged. You can take your feet more into a butterfly. You can extend your legs out. If as you sit here, you feel that sense of leaning back, grab something to sit on, a pillow, a cushion, a sweater, whatever you have, a blanket. Then take your time to get comfortable. And then once you figure out how you want to sit, let's take and rest our hands. So if you have the back of your hands resting on your legs, that's palms up. It's more open receiving. And if you have your palms down, it's more grounding. So you can choose. And then let's just soften our shoulders and close our eyes. And then with our eyes closed, we'll start to connect to our core and start to feel this lengthening of our spine, but start to feel it as this inward connection. So let's start to activate our core and pull those bottom ribs together. And then as you do that, lift through your heart center, soften your shoulders down your back. We want to very slightly tuck our chin so it's parallel with the earth. And then envision this lifting and lengthening up through the crown of your head. And you feel this lengthening through your spine. And as you start to make all of these little adjustments, you should feel your muscles activate, those postural muscles. You might feel it through those shoulder blades, those outer ribs. And then just take a moment, sit with what you feel that activation. When we sit, we usually just come in and just sit however we want. So just notice how this feels. And then let's slow our breath down. As you breathe in through your nose, feel your body fill and expand. And then as you breathe out through your nose, feel your body just soften. And as you soften, see if you can still keep this long, tall spine. Let's take about 3 breaths here. And then when you feel complete with those breaths, we'll stay seated. If you're in a symmetrical pose like a butterfly or legs forward, keep them. And if you're in an asymmetrical, just switch to the opposite way. It'll feel awkward, but be okay with that. We're still going to sit tall and keep this connection to our core, but we'll start to connect with our shoulders. So let's take our right hand to the right. Our palm will reach back, and then we'll take our right hand to our low back. And I'll just scooch to the side so you can see. We'll interlace our hands together, and it might be on your side body. It might be on that back body. Just feel that interlacing of your hands so that your left hand holds your right hand in place. Now coming back to that core, knit those ribs in, lift through your heart center, soften your shoulders, and you should start to feel this stretch through this right shoulder. We'll sit a little taller, and then drop your left ear towards your left shoulder, and we'll just breathe here, getting into this shoulder opener and this neck stretch. Let's take one more breath. We'll keep our left ear towards our left shoulder. We'll slightly drop our chin to our chest, and we'll stretch to the back right side of our neck. One more breath here, and then left ear stays towards left shoulder, but lifting your chin, we'll stretch to the front right side. And breathe. One more breath. Lift your head back to center. We'll release our arms, give our shoulders a shake. If at any time you need to switch your legs, that's always welcome. And then we'll set up for second side because thankfully we have 2. So left hand comes to the left, palm faces back. Take your left hand around your low back. Interlace your hands. Knit those ribs in, engaging your core, lifting through your heart center. Soften your shoulders. breathe, and then right ear towards right shoulder. And you might already start to notice the differences and the similarities between each side. Just honor them. If something is feeling like it's pinching or your hand is falling asleep, just loosen that grip a little bit. Just adjust so it feels right. One more breath. And then keeping our right ear towards our right shoulder, just slightly drop our chin towards our chest, and we'll stretch to the back left side of our neck. One more breath. And then keeping our right ear towards our right shoulder, lift our chin and stretch to the front left side. One more breath. Lift your head back to center, release your arms, and give your shoulders a shake. And I know we've been sitting for a while, just a few more minutes. So take your hands onto your legs, however you're sitting, and we'll just add a little cat-cow movement. So with your inhale, pull your heart forward and lift your gaze as deep as it feels good. And with your exhale, press your shoulders back, tuck your chin to your chest. We'll just flow through a few breaths here. And let's take about 2 or 3 more breaths. And then we'll just come back to the center. We'll just take a quick little twist here. So whatever way you want, we'll take one hand to the opposite knee, the other hand comes to the earth. Use your core, sit tall, and gently twist. We'll take a nice deep breath. Use your core, come back to center, keep going. Opposite side, sit tall, and then twist to this side. And we'll take a nice deep breath. And then we'll come back to center, and you can shake it all out. We'll pause for a moment in our tabletop, and then you can choose how quickly you want to get to downward dog. So we'll come up onto our hands and knees, wrists under shoulders, knees under hips, and that same sort of movement seated. Inhale, lift your chest, lift your gaze. Exhale, tuck your chin, shoulders, and belly reach up. At any time, you can make your way to downward dog. You can flow through a low plank and upward dog. If you want to add a wrist stretch, just change your hands. They can spin towards the long edges, towards your knees. And you can also take the back of your hands on your mat and take your time. Your arms will tell you when they have had enough. You can flow through a low plank and upward dog. Otherwise, when you're ready, just plant your palms, engage your core, tuck your toes, and we'll just lift our hips up for downward dog. In our downward dog, our hips lift up high to the sky. Nice movement would be to bend one knee as you press opposite heel towards the earth. It's like you're walking without your feet going anywhere. Take a nice deep breath. Let's take 2 more breaths here, just in case we're not quite here yet. And then as you exhale, you can look forward and then we'll step, or you can lightly hop towards the top. Inhale, halfway lift, lengthen through your spine. Engage your core, exhale, fold, bend your knees as much as you need, and then press into your feet. Inhale, rise up, reach up, sweep your arms up, palms face each other, and exhale, fold. Inhale, halfway lift, lengthen your spine, hands are on the floor or your shins, and then plant your hands, step back, high plank, and let's just take a breath here. High plank. You can come to your knees at any time. With your inhale, shift forward, and as you exhale, lower halfway, elbows hug your ribs. Inhale, upward dog, pull your heart forward, and then use your core, hips to the sky, downward dog. Take a breath. We'll flow through another sun salutation together. So with your exhale, step or hop towards the top. Halfway lift. Inhale, rise, reach up. Exhale, fold. Halfway lift. Plant your hands, step or hop back, high to low plank, lower halfway or all the way. Upward dog, pull your heart forward, open your chest. Hips to the sky, downward dog. Take a breath, and then we'll just flow through one more on our own breath. So take your time and allow your breath to guide you. And you can flow as fast or as slow as you need. If there's certain poses that you want to skip, you sure can. If there's poses you want to add, you can. Maybe add a couple push-ups. Maybe take away that high to low upward dog and just go right into downward dog. And then in your downward dog, just breathe. At any time, if you need a break, you can always come to your knees. That's always welcome. Let's take a nice deep breath. And with your exhale, step or hop towards the top. Halfway lift. Fold forward. Inhale, rise up, reach up. Let's pause here, breathe. And then take our feet about a little bit wider than our hips and our toes turn out just slightly. Add a softness to your knees so there's a little bounce. We'll get into those lower abdominals, pull your hip bones together, and then feel this lifting up of your heart center. We'll add a back bend here in our standing posture. So think of this connection of root to rise. Press into the earth, lift up, lengthen up, and then open your chest up and breathe. Feel this lifting, lengthening, opening. You want to lift up and out of your low back. Once you're as deep as you can go, you can lift your gaze. But if there's pressure to your low back, find the spot where there is no pressure. 2 more breaths. 1 more. If you shifted your gaze, lift your gaze. As you inhale, come up. Engage your core. Let's bend our knees a lot. And then as we fold, we'll sink our hips all the way towards our heels. Your heels might stay on the floor. They might lift. And normally we have our knees splayed open in our garland squat, but this time we want to squeeze them in so our elbows are in front of our knees. You can keep your hands on the floor or come to your heart center and then lift up through your heart center and then breathe. Slow, steady breath. 2 breaths here. 1 more. This next transition is a bit awkward for some of us, myself included. We're going to keep going, and then we'll take our seat all the way to the earth. If you can, no hands. Or you can take your hands to the floor and allow yourself to support yourself as you take your bottom all the way to the earth. And then we'll go into boat pose. So let's squeeze our inner thighs together. Our legs will stay glued together. If you need support, you can have your hands on the earth behind your thighs. You can always keep your feet on the floor. We'll add a little fun flair. So we'll straighten our legs and then hug them in with our core. And then we'll just flow. So again, if you need to take your hands to the earth, if you need that feet on the floor, you can bounce them, step them forward, step them back, and then you can feel that movement as you lift them, whatever you need. And then breathe for 4, 3, 2, 1 more. Let's keep our feet lifted, hug our knees in towards our chest. Take our forehead towards our knees and create this little tiny ball of awesomeness. Balancing here on our sit bones so our core stays engaged. Let's take 1 more breath. Cross your ankles. And then let's just switch the cross to the awkward way. See if you can roll over your feet. We'll plant our hands and then flow back to downward dog. So even with the awkward cross, it might be harder. Take your time, flow through that high to low, upward dog, and back to downward dog. And then breathe. And then press the earth away, engage your core. Let's inhale, lift our right leg up to the sky. Notice if your pinky toe is reaching higher. Activate your inner thighs and level out your hips and then lift your heel higher. 1 more breath. And as you exhale, right knee towards right elbow, and then pause here. Press the earth away. We'll add a little fun flair. So let's take our right knee towards our right wrist, slide it over to our left wrist, lift it up to our left shoulder, and then back to our right shoulder, and complete the square. So right wrist, right shoulder, left shoulder. Two more, wrist, wrist, shoulder, shoulder. One more, wrist, wrist, shoulder, shoulder. Hold here and breathe for 3, 2, one more breath, and then step your right foot forward. Ground your left heel. Let's windmill our arms up, warrior 2. So our right foot faces forward, our right hand reaches forward, left hand reaches back. And then breathe. So press your feet into the earth, squeeze your inner thighs to stand tall, soften your shoulders, and see if you can slow your breath down. Two more breaths. Can you sink a little deeper? One more breath. We'll straighten our right leg. We'll bend our left knee, sink our hips towards our left heel, and our right toe points up to the sky for surfer's lunge. So you can keep your hands on the earth. You can work on balance and take your hands to your heart center, or you can work on your bind and your left elbow will wrap around your left knee and your right hand to your low back. But feel this lengthening through your spine and breathe. Just warming up our legs. Two more breaths. One more breath. We'll start to press into our left foot, lift our hips, slide them towards our right foot, walk our hands in front of our right foot, our left heel stays lifted, our left foot points forward, and we'll rise up for crescent lunge. All right, getting to the good stuff. So we want to start to create space through this hip flexor and pressure out of our low back. So just add a little softness to your left knee, pull those hip bones together with those lower abdominals, and then keeping your core engaged straight in that leg. So we have some fun flair this week. Last day of it, tomorrow something new. If you would like a little bit more support, you can take your hands to your hips, and that'll just be a little bit more supportive, your choice. So let's take a breath in, and then as you exhale, slowly lower your left knee so it just hovers, and press your hips forward as you lower. And then with your inhale, press into your right heel, use your glute. And then exhale, lower. And then inhale, back up. Round into your right foot, step your left foot up to meet your right. And then sink your hips as deep as they can go with your heels on the floor. As you press into your heels to lift up, step your left foot back, crescent lunge. And then exhale, lower. Inhale, back up. Exhale, lower. Inhale, back up. Left foot steps forward. Sink your hips. Press up and step your left foot back. And exhale, lower. Inhale, back up. Exhale, lower. Inhale, back up. Step it forward. Sink it low. Press up. Use your glutes. Step it back. One more time. Exhale, lower. Inhale up. Exhale, lower. Inhale up. Step it forward. Sink it low. Step it or press it up and then step it back. And hold here. And breathe and slow your breath down. As you inhale, lengthen, and exhale, twist. So left hand reaches forward, right hand reaches back. Notice if you're leaning forward, use the strength of your back body to stand tall, and then your core twists you farther. And sink a little deeper. Two more breaths. One more breath. We'll take our left hand to the earth. You can take your right hand to your hip if you'd like. Left hand comes up, revolved half moon. So keep lengthening your spine and opening your chest to the right. If you want to try a bind, you can bend your left knee, reach with your right hand for your left foot, and then press that foot away. Wherever you are, slow your breath down. 2 more breaths. 1 more. If you have that bind, release it. Let's take our right hand to the earth. We'll bend both of our knees. Take our bent left knee behind our right knee. Take the pinky toe edge of our left foot off the right side of our mat. And we'll sit between our feet for cow face. Super awkward transition. So if it just doesn't feel right, you can straighten your left leg completely out, or you can sit on something. But let's sit tall. And we'll take a chest opener. So if there's sensation through your knees, straighten your left leg or sit on something. So you can take prayer at your low back. You can grab your forearms at your low back. Or for cow face arms, you can extend your right hand up, lower it down your back, left hand comes to the left, and then reaches towards the right. You can stay here. Or if you desire more sensation in your hips, you can fold forward. And then we'll breathe. Slow your breath down, and we'll take 3 more breaths. One more breath. If you're in a forward fold, engage your core to come out. Let's release our arms. We'll give our shoulders a little shake. We'll go into a twist. So left hand to right knee, right hand to the earth. Use your core, sit tall, twist to the right. And we'll take 2 breaths here. 1 more. Use your core, come back to your center. We'll take a counter twist to the left. Take a breath. Another awkward transition. We're just gonna keep walking our hands, unwind our legs, and we'll go back to downward dog facing the back of our mat. So that high to low plank, upward dog, and then lift your hips up to the sky, downward dog. And notice how it feels facing the back of your mat. And it's just, we'll just do the exact same thing, but the second side. So let's start with a nice deep breath. As you inhale, lift your left leg up. Notice if that pinky toe is lifting hard, use your inner thighs, lift your heel. And as you exhale, left knee towards left elbow and breathe. So just pause for a moment. And then we'll add our fun flare. So left knee to left wrist, right shoulder, left shoulder. Left wrist, shoulder, shoulder. And we'll do 2 more. Wrist, shoulder, shoulder, wrist, shoulder, shoulder, and then hold for 3, 2, 1 more breath. And step your left foot forward, ground your right heel. Let's windmill up, warrior 2. So opening our hips, opening our chest. Left hand reaches over our left leg. And sink nice and deep. That ankle's over that knee. Nope, knee's over that ankle. We'd otherwise be upside down, but that's cool too. Slow your breath down. Soften your shoulders, soften your jaw. 2 more breaths. One more breath. Straighten your left leg. Let's sink our hips towards our right heel. Our left toes point up to the sky. Your right heel might make it to the floor, it might not. Your hips might be higher or lower. You can keep your hands on the earth. You can come to your heart center. You can take your bind. But wherever you are, lengthen through your spine, lift through that heart center, and breathe. Two more breaths. One more breath. We'll start to press into our right foot, lift our hips, slide them towards our left leg, take our hands on either side and in front. Our right heel stays lifted, and then we'll rise up, crescent lunge, sweep our arms up. Then getting into that long spine, activating our core, soften our right knee, hold those hip bones together, lengthen through your spine, and then straighten that leg. And breathe. Take a breath, slow it down. With your inhale, lengthen. Exhale, lower your right knee so it just hovers. Press your hips forward as you lower. Inhale, press into your left heel, lift back up. Exhale, lower. Inhale, back up. Step your right foot up, meet your left. Sink your hips as deep as you can go. Heels stay grounded. Press into your heels, lift it back up. Step your right foot back, crescent lunge. And then lower your knee and lift. And lower and lift. Step it forward. Sink your hips. Press up and then step your right foot back. Lower and lift. Lower, lift, step it forward, sink your hips. Press it up, step it back. One more rotation. Lower and lift. Lower and lift. Step it forward. Sink your hips. Press it up, step it back, crescent lunge, and then breathe here. As you inhale, lengthen your spine, and exhale, twist. Right hand reaches forward, left hand reaches back. Use the strength of that core and that back body to stand up tall and twist to the left, and then breathe here. Sink your hips just a little deeper. They probably feel amazing. Two more breaths. One more. Let's take our right hand to the earth. Our right leg comes up to the sky. If you need, take your left hand to your hip, or you can take your bind. Bend your right knee, reach with your left hand. Lengthen through your spine, and then keep opening your chest to the left. And just breathe. Two more breaths. One more. If you have your bind, release it. Let's take our left hand to the earth. Bend both of our knees. Take our bent right knee behind our bent left knee. Plant the pinky toe edge of our right foot off the left side of our mat, and then lower your hips and sit between your feet. I know we love our yoga, just slightly awkward. So again, if there's pressure through your knee, you can either sit on something to lift your hips or just straighten your right leg forward. Let's sit tall, and then we'll take arm bind on this side. So if you did prayer hands, do that. If you grabbed your forearm, switch the rotation. For cow face, your left hand reaches up and then down your back. Right hand reaches to the right and then towards your left. You can stay tall, or if it feels good, you can fold forward for more sensations in your hips. But breathe. And then as you're here, notice the differences and the similarities between the other side. And just breathe into what you feel and slow your breath down. Two more breaths here. Slow them down. One more breath. If you're in a forward fold, use your core to come up. We'll release our arms, give our shoulders a little shake. And we'll set up for a twist. So right hand to left knee, left hand to the earth. Use your core to twist to the left. Two breaths. One more. Use your core. Let's inhale, come back to center. Exhale, counter twist to the right. We'll take a breath. And then we'll unwind our legs. Keep twisting and take our hands to the top of our mat and flow back to downward dog. Oh, so good to be back here. And then just take a nice deep breath, slow it down. Feel your palms grounded, activate your shoulders. Broaden your shoulders and your collarbone, engage your core. And as you inhale, let's shift forward into a high plank. If you need to at any time, please drop to your knees. That's always welcome. Let's take our feet together at the back of our mat. We'll just have a little fun flow here. So we'll reach our left hand up as our heels spin to the right. And then we'll take our left hand to the earth. And then we'll spin our heels to the left, right hand comes up. And we're just gonna flow from side to side. Nice and slow, feel this connection with your core. Your shoulders stay active. Press the earth away. If your wrists are tired, come to your forearms. That's still gorgeous. They're all gorgeous. You can come to your knees. And then just smile because this is so great. It's been really cold. This will warm us up for 4, 3, 2, 1 more so you feel equal on both sides, and then we'll meet in high plank. And from your high plank, you can choose to float or press back to downward dog. And take a breath. 1 more breath. And as you exhale, step or hop towards the top, and we'll take a seat. Let's get into a little bit of a forward fold. So take your feet about hip distance width apart. If you feel the sensation of leaning back, just sit on something. If there's pressure through your low back, just bend your knees. And then we'll sit tall, lengthen through our spine, reach up. And as you exhale, fold forward. You can reach for your feet, your shins. You can have your hands on the floor. You can hug under your legs. See if you can let your head be heavy. And if there's any pressure through your low back, the most honoring of your low back is to bend your knees and allow your chest and your thighs to be glued together, and just have your knees as bent as you need. And with every breath, feel your body soften a little deeper. Two more breaths. One more. Engage your core. You can also use your hands to lift yourself back up. And we'll set up for a reverse plank today, or tabletop. They're both awesome in their own way. So we'll start with our hands behind our hips, if possible, fingers towards hips. If not, spin them out. But notice if they're spinning back, we want them as close to forward as we can. And then activate your shoulders. Press your hands into the earth. We'll lift our hips with our legs straight. If that doesn't work, you can bend your knees and take your ankles under your knees and lift your hips up to the height of your knees. One will just suck less. And then once you're as deep as you can go, if it's available, relax your head back. But press into your feet and your hands. Lift your hips and your chest and breathe. For 3, 2, 1 more breath. Engage your core as you slowly release. You might need to give your shoulders a little shake. And then from here, we'll slowly make our way onto our backs. We'll plant our feet and just windshield wipe our knees from side to side. 1 more breath. We'll take our right ankle across our left thigh. You can keep it right here. You can engage your core and lift your left leg off the earth. If you want to stay in this pose, you can take behind your thigh or your shin, or you can hold onto your right ankle, your right knee, and straighten your left leg down your mat for a supine rock the baby. So if you have to lift your head off the earth to take that arm bind with your foot and knee into your elbows, then just support behind your knee and your ankle. But let's just rock this leg back and forth and just breathe. I'm going to take a breath or two, and then we'll just hold in stillness. Three more breaths. Slow your breath down in and out through your nose. When you feel complete with your breath, we'll slowly release this leg. You might need to give it a little shake. And then eventually, when you're ready, we'll bend our knees, plant our feet. You can windshield wipe your knees to let go of any sensation. And then taking our left ankle across our right thigh. You can stay here, engage your core, lift your right leg, hug behind your thigh or your shin, or hold onto your left leg and straighten your right. And we'll go into this rock the baby. Support your knee and your foot, and then we'll just rock. So to protect it, you can flex your toes, and that should help alleviate that pressure in your knee or ankle. And then notice what you feel on this side. Take a breath or two with movement, and then we'll just settle into stillness. Slow your breath down. Feel your body soften into this beautiful stretch. And we'll take 3 more breaths. When your breath is complete, we'll gently release our leg. And then you can give it a little shake. And when you're ready, we'll hug our knees into our chest, and you can be still or rock from side to side. That side to side will help massage that low back. We'll go into happy baby, ankles over knees, grab the outside of your feet, your ankles, your thighs, and you can be still or rock from side to side. So at any time if that doesn't feel good, you can just bend your knees and keep your knees wide, whatever works for you today. 2 more breaths. 1 more. And then hug your knees in. Oh, they're just the best. We'll set up for a twist, and we'll set up for a simple twist. If there's a favorite twist you want to take, go for it. Otherwise, your arms can be like a T or goalpost, and let's drop both of our knees to one side. If you want to just straighten that bottom leg, you sure can. Slow your breath down, and we'll take 3 beautiful breaths. Let's take, and then when your breath is complete, we'll engage our core to lift our knees back to center. If you need to rock from side to side or hug your knees in, you can. Otherwise, we'll just drop our legs to the opposite side. Take a moment to settle, and then once you settle, take 3 breaths. Once you feel complete with your breath, engage your core. Use your core to come back to center. Let's give our knees a beautiful hug. If it feels good, lift your forehead to your knees. Create this tiny ball of awesomeness for the rest of your week. And we'll release for Shavasana. So extend your legs down your mat. Soften your shoulders down your back. Your hands are at your side, palms up. If there's this pulling in your low back, bend your knees, plant your feet, and then pull your tailbone towards your heels. Close your eyes, let go of your breath, and allow yourself to surrender into stillness, laying here on your back body in Shavasana. And just feel the sense of softening, surrendering, releasing. Just let go. Feel yourself held and supported by the earth below. You are safe to just relax and surrender. Learn to live with unfinished projects. Whether your project is sewing a dress, reading a book, writing a book, building a home, or learning a lesson on your journey. Learn to live comfortably with unfinished work. Whatever you're working on, whatever you're in the midst of, doesn't need to be finished in perfect order with all the loose ends in place for you to be happy. For too many years, we worried and fretted, denying ourselves happiness until we could see the whole picture. Learn the entire lesson, cross every T and dot each I. That meant we spent a lot of stressful time waiting for that one moment when the project was complete. Enjoy all of the stages of the process you're in. The first moments when the germ of the idea finds you, the time before you begin, when the seed lies dormant in the ground, getting ready to grow. The beginning and all those days through the middle, those bleak days when it looks like you're stuck and won't break through. Those exciting days when the project, the lesson, the life you're building takes shape and form. And start to wiggle your fingers and your toes. Roll your head from side to side. Extend your arms overhead, stretch your body deep in your breath. When you feel ready, bend your knees and roll to your side. Allow your arms to support your head and the earth to support your body. Then gently press yourself up to a seated posture with your eyes closed, hands together at your heart center. Take a deep breath. Be happy now. Enjoy the creative process, the process of creating your life, yourself, and the project you're working on today. Don't wait for those finishing moments to take pleasure in your work and your life. Find joy all along the way. Smile. Namaste. Thank you for coming. I hope everyone has a lovely evening. If you have any questions, please let me know.